The Ultimate Warrior. Now, we both watched both documentaries that happened. The A&E one, the Dark Side of the Ring one. Which of the ones of the two did you prefer?
Um, I thought together they worked pretty well. You know, I don't think there's any celebration in either one of them, really, was there? I mean, it was pretty much that he wasn't able to work and he wasn't, had no talent. And then the interviews are off. And he did when he came in. I was there when he first came in before he started getting the big push, and he was a little off the wall, and his work was suspect. But like I said, I posted. I said, when you bought a ticket to see Ultimate Warrior, you weren't going to see Jack Briscoe or somebody like that. Dory Funk. A wrestling. Expert. He's the guy that came running into the ring, running back and forth, gave a bunch of guys a bunch of stiff clotheslines, shook the ropes, and went running back out the parts unknown. And that's so, and he didn't really disappoint. I think he had a decent match with Savage. I think at one time, and was if he let you lead him, you could get somewhere. But usually wasn't the case. He probably gets so pumped up into his own warrior thing, because he that grew. That grew after I left in '88 and into the '90s, and that persona, you can see just growing in him. Where I guess he just thought he was the warrior.
If we take it back a bit then, so both documentaries bring up that obviously he was a bodybuilder. He was a bodybuilder before he went into wrestling, and he was picked by the guy's names, the little guy who's out in California, and he came up with a couple of pairs of bodybuilders and sent press kits out and everything. The question is though, were you ever interested in the bodybuilding scene? Because it was like really big in the 80s. Did you have any interest in like following the magazines or following the big stars at the time?
Well, I looked at I followed it naturally. Looked at the magazines and stuff, but no, I'm not really. I took training techniques and stuff. I was wrapped up. I was wrapped in the pro wrestling gig. It wasn't. There's a lot of extra work for bodybuilding. You really can't, the diet, the eating, and the training and the rest. You can't. The training's hard enough on the road, but you couldn't incorporate a diet. Well, you can, but you eventually are going to drive yourself nuts or sick or something.
Is bodybuilding a sport?
Oh God, I guess it depends who you ask. I suppose they train. They train incredibly hard. The Ronnie Coleman, the guy from Detroit, I think he was at Serb. He's just, I don't know. I haven't seen any bodybuilding magazines lately in a couple of years. But I used to look at him at the gate. Somebody'd leave him in the gate when I was clerk and we were accepting or releasing containers, and Ronnie. So those come on even before that. They've just gotten so thick and so roided out, that they put a lot of work in. They're hard. They put a lot of work, a lot of time in it. They a lot of money. Their diet is precise. They have to take a lot of supplements, and obviously to go on to that high level, you got to do some roids, more than some. You got to do them all.
So he obviously starts off in. Oh, do you know what? I didn't even write this down. I'm going to feel really stupid now. I'm supposed to be. Oh, I'm not the expert, but he starts out in the southern states. I know he was in Oklahoma for a bit. I think he was actually in Memphis. That's where he first started. You were obviously on the road in the WWF at this time, 367 days out of a year of 365. You were never having any time. But when was the first time that the Ultimate Warrior or Jim Hellwig ever came on your radar?
When he came in to start doing TV, he came in.
So you'd never heard of him beforehand then? You never heard of the name?
No. No. Dingo Warrior. He came as a Dingo Warrior and with the paint, and that was it. Naturally he's impressive. 275-pound guys all ripped and, with the paint and the tassels. And, you made it. At that time, it was really transitioning. Wrestling was transitioning as such to, guys were having outfits, Macho Man, and these guys, they were having uniforms or, a certain type with the merchandising. Along hand in hand with the merchandising, they were getting, different, certain types. I was wearing only light blue, baby blue pants and had this tie-dye thing going because of they paired me with Billy Graham, and that was my uniform. I mean, don't show, don't come to work with black tights and a jacket. That's it. That was just became me, and it was kind of weird for myself because I hadn't been pigeonholed into such a product where guys like Ric Flair and other guys spend thousands of dollars on capes and robes and stuff, and which they use revolving.
Yeah. Did you ever hear of Honky Tonk Man's theory about baby blue trunks? Because it seemed that so many in the WWF wore baby blue trunks or were sort of forced to wear them just before they were let go. So there was you, Greg Valentine, Dino Bravo, a couple of other people. Hercules. Is there anything to that?
It's a good theory. I don't know if you could prove it, and I just with the names you go through, certainly fit, but true or false, Honky he's got a lot of theories, but whether it's true or not, just coincidental, I don't know, maybe.
I'll ask this then. Just before Ultimate Warrior turned up in WWF, he was in Dallas and he was managed by Gary Hart. Any memories of Gary Hart? Did you ever work too many territories with him?
Yeah, I was in Tampa with him when I first went to Tampa. He was, I was a baby. He was the heel manager, and he was, a great guy, intelligent. Had his own, little. Came from the Jim Barnett, Mark Lewin. He'd spent a lot of time with Mark Lewin from Detroit, and all that stuff. He had kind of like a street, his own type of street jive, good jive going. He was a cool guy, smart, around the business and everything else. Unfortunately, he got some kind of illness that took his life early.
Yeah, it was really quick. I don't even think he was ill. I think he just went. Yeah, he just dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he ever have the book in any promotion while you were wrestling?
Not when I was working there. I'm sure he always had input. Dallas, he may have with Fritz. He may have had the book in Dallas, and maybe been in the office with Watts or somebody around there. I don't really know of his movie. I was with him in Tampa, and he left somewhere, and it wasn't long after that he passed. So I hadn't, most of his previous work, I just came and I just learned of after,
No, I think he died about 2008, 2009, something like that.
Was it that late? I thought I heard he'd gone long before that. Well,
definitely. I saw a video interview in the late 2000s. So yeah, he lived that long, and I think he still had a razor blade in his pocket.
Yeah. Well, he disappeared. He disappeared soon after he left Florida. He went around and went to Dallas, and then I don't notice him. I don't remember.
He was in WCW for like 1991, and then maybe Dallas again, and then pretty much disappeared. Ultimate Warrior's legacy. You've already really explained what Ultimate Warrior's legacy is, I suppose. Any other stories about the Warrior that just stick out in your mind? Anything you want to sort of mention and get out there, or any other opinions of the documentaries that you saw?
Just that they were really joyless. There was no celebration and no. I hope he had a happier. Happier. I'm sure he did. Going along, like I said, like Macho Man. After he got divorced, he was running up hundreds of dollar tabs at strip bars and stuff. You never saw him even out of the room before he was like that. So and then, I hope that he had had a good life. He reached the Ultimate Warrior. He had ultimate success. He was the star of the company for however long he was there, and I'm sure with his head spinning with the Warrior stuff that probably a clear thinking Hulk or somebody else would be easy to displace him. And I think that was the time when Stone Cold and The Rock and Shawn Michaels and stuff were getting ready to come in on the scene. So they were bringing a whole nother level of talent. I think Triple H was already there, and he slaughtered Triple H in one match. But that they were it was just coming of a new era, and when those Rock and Stone Cold and HBK and all those guys, kind of moved in with the working and the talking and the charisma and everything else, that his world got smaller.
Yeah. Is it fair to say that he was always playing pro wrestler rather than actually being a pro wrestler and really learning the craft?
Could be. He was a bodybuilder, above and beyond. I think he probably wanted to go somewhere in the bodybuilding field, which he made a lot more money as a wrestler.